Hi, welcome to the Gen X Glam and Gab channel here on YouTube. It is great to see everyone, whether you're new, whether you're coming back. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have so much to catch up on, so let's just get going. For those of you who are tracking my channel, you know I have recently moved. This is like week 3, I think, from North America to Europe. I'm here in Sweden, learning as much as I can about living in Sweden, and I've got some updates on that. I've got some updates on what I'm seeing out there in the beauty world, what's going on in the news, even though I haven't been checking in every day like I used to. I am definitely still tracking. I'm getting all those spam emails. I'm on every mailing list possible, and I'm reading them all and exploring the local economy a little bit. I have a couple things that I purchased over the weekend that we're going to use to get ready with today. So let's get into it. Where to start? All right. For those of you who are really tracking my channel, and not many people saw my last video when I did a get ready with me to go to a private island. I did go to a private island. It was wonderful. My husband and I were invited. We were guests of this lovely couple that we know through pickleball here. And it was amazing. Like, it was so amazing. I didn't even take any pictures. It almost felt sacrilegious to take pictures of this beautiful, pristine space. It was owned by the folks that had a house on the island. These are all pretty much summer houses, right? They're not really winterized. Many of them had the very nicest outhouses I have ever seen. So, you know, everything that comes on the island has to come by boat, right? Including like waste and unlike anything, right? Anything they can't grow or make there, they have to bring on. So you have to, you know, keep that in mind. You know, I don't think those of us who aren't island dwellers would really have that in mind. So you think carefully about everything you bring in, everything that you throw away. So it was just a community that's you know, many generational, been there forever, and yeah, they take great care. It was just so beautiful. Like, there were some, you could stand on sort of like the hill or whatnot that our host house was on, and you could look down the way and around the bend, and you could see that it was just like nature beyond. You know, I've been on some kayaking trips or canoeing trips where, you know, you're on a river or whatever, you know, body of water you're on. And the best part of those trips for me is when you do get far enough away from, you know, like not noise pollution, definitely light pollution, just like civilization in general. And you're paddling along, and you know, around every bend is only nature. It was much like that. So, and we had a lovely lunch, and yeah, it was fantastic. And then over this past weekend, I went to a public island, you know, a lot more touristy. We still took a boat there. It was a commercial boat, so we had to pay. And you just walked around the island, and you could picnic, you could eat there. You know, they had some exhibits up, some like really old wood carved boats, and like, you know, this is very much a seafaring community, and it's still those roots are still very well respected and preserved, you know, today in the culture here. And so that was lovely. I got some souvenirs I'm going to send home. And then it was also a beauty weekend. I got my eyebrows threaded. I found a place to get my eyebrows threaded, which really made me happy. Although I know that I'm really happy with the shape. There was a bit of a language barrier. I didn't speak Swedish, and she didn't speak much English, but she understood like natural and clean it up. And I really do like the shape more so than where I was going actually in Canada. But after the threading, she did a little like localized plucking, which I've had done before, but more than normal. And so today I've got my skincare down, and I have my color correcting down. So you can't really see as much, but I'm gonna lean in. Like, there's a spot right there. That's like a little red mark. That wasn't there before I went and got my brows threaded. And right here underneath my sort of like my beauty mark, there's a little red nick. I think that's the best way to do it. And there's one over here too, but they're covered with, I used my NARS pot concealer today in the shade Creme Brulee to do most of my color correcting, including my lids. I did pretty full coverage. I don't know if you can tell, but I did pretty full coverage on my lids. I'm not going to do that much. I am going for sort of a natural look today, and I'm so excited. I know many of you are going to be so excited to see what product I'm going to pull out, because this is a product that was in my Holy Grails, the makeup bag. For those of you who are tracking my channel, I have no idea what happened to between my move. I'm hoping it might show up when like my stuff shows up, which other news to break could be, speaking of the brows, why don't we just go in and do them? My NYX brow glue. I might be getting my shipment here like this week or next. And when that happens, I am just going to go to town with reorganizing all of my glam. It's going to be like Christmas morning, right? Or it's going to be like when I know moms, I know you've done this, like hide the toys from the kids for a couple of months and then you bring them out. Like you can only get away with this if your kids are like of a certain age group, but you know, like hide the toys and bring them out, and then the kid thinks that they're new toys. I feel like that's what it's going to be like when I actually get all of my makeup. I'm going to be like, wow, you survived the purge and the giveaways. Yay, you're back with me. So anyway, so let's just get to it. Yes, I picked up myself up some Glotion, some L'Oréal Glotion in my favorite shade of 903. So I get like a medium. It's not light. It's in the medium family. This product's great. It gives you a nice glowy base with, you know, with, even though it says medium, it's going to be lightish coverage. And it was in the makeup bag that I seem to have misplaced on my move. So, yes, like, how did I find it? Well, while I was at this mall that I had explored where I got my Saturday candy, talked about this mall in my last video, I knew that there were some nail shops in there. And so I went back to the mall with the intention of getting my nails done, which I did. I'm not loving the color. It's a little bit more cotton candy. That's not even an expression. More cotton candy-esque than I was kind of going for, but whatever, I can live with it. But while I was wandering around this mall trying to find, do we go in with the beauty blender or do we go in with a brush? Let's go in with the beauty blender. While I'm trying to find the nail shop, I just passed this little, very tiny little shop where there were two chairs, and I could tell by the sign that it looked like lash and brow, even though it wasn't in English. So I popped in, and sure enough, the gal that worked in there, she did threading. And so I was like, sign me up. And it was great. So nails, brows. She also does lamination, but here they call it brow lifting. So so I might go back, not for a little while, like at least a month, and get a brow lift, and possibly get my brows tinted. I mean, why not? Especially the tint. Like, even if it gets kind of crazy, especially because of the language barrier, I have to go back with Google Translate. The tints don't last forever, right? So yeah, I think I am gonna explore that. Maybe the next, I'm gonna try to go 3 weeks with the nails. So when it is that I go back to get my nails changed, color changed, and touched up, maybe I'll go in for the brow lift. All right, so there is just a little tiny glow and you can see it, like I can see it anyway. Can you see the glow that I got from that L'Oréal Glotion? Was so excited. Something else that I got there was the NYX Matte Finish Setting Spray. Oh, got there. Let me tell you where. So while I was like, identified the brow threading store, the brow threading shop, I kind of knew where the nail shop was. I passed what looked like a department store, but it wasn't super chicy. It looked like, I don't know, like a value buy department store, right? There wasn't all the brand names there, the Pradas and the Burberrys and all this stuff in terms of clothes. It looked like, you know, like a really nice value buy type of place. And connected to it, there was a beauty shop, like a place where they sold cosmetics, hair products, health and beauty. And so I started to look, and there was a mix of like high end and low end, you know, like how ultra sorry, I have the hair there, how Ultra has like a mix of that kind of stuff. So they had Maybelline, they had NYX, they had a lot of NYX actually. So I was so happy to find this setting spray. They also had Clarins and Clinique. So I went checked around, got the very last Glotion in 903. Got my favorite, one of my favorite drugstore setting sprays, because I am going through my GRWM pretty quickly, and this is more of like a face mist. It's not a setting spray per se. I have a tiny deluxe size Charlotte Tilbury airbrush filter setting spray. It's not a lot, so I've been kind of using that conservatively, so I needed that, and I already put it away. I got a tool. Can you believe? In the missing makeup case is also my sharpener, and I am loving this dual-ended Charlotte Tilbury lip liner. Like one side you sculpt and the other side you fill, and it was getting down to literally the wood, and I was like, how am I gonna get this thing sharpened? And so I picked up, yeah, I picked this up. I'm so happy with it. I also picked up a whole tub of these guys, which I don't know, I'm out of them. I don't have one out, but the thing that's cool about them, and I'm never gonna be able to get this. Oh, I did it. The thing that I like about these particular Q-tips is this flat end, right? You can do a lot of cleaning up with, I just love these. I don't know who else out there has got these in their toolkit, this particular kind. And then you've got like your little pointy end there, which this is really good for getting off clumps of mascara and the like. All right, so that's all I'm going in with the Glotion. I feel like that's enough. Just like a very natural glowy base. I think it gives me enough coverage. I'm not looking for much. When am I ever looking for much? I'm gonna go in with my Makeup Forever palette and just get like a tiny bit of maybe this, maybe that. This shade, I went in with that, and let's just get it up there on the top of the cheekbone and get like even a little bit more of like a little glow going on, and talk about the last thing I want to talk about, which is in no, it's not 32 hours. It's probably more like 22 hours now. Anyway, there's a countdown going on Charlotte Tilbury's website right now to when her 2025 advent calendar is going on sale, and this thing looks amazing. Like, she's in the past, she's like, oh, it's my treasure chest of secrets, or this, that, or the other. This one really looks like a treasure chest. Like, it's got the more like squarish sort of shape to it. Like last year's the heart. Yeah, last year's was sort of the heart shaped. I'm really excited for this, but the only problem is last year she went all like, how was it, 40% off on like everything on her website, and I was kicking myself for having bought the I'm gonna go in now with this link. I'm getting a little braver. I was kicking myself for buying that advent calendar full price when it dropped, when if I would have just held out, it didn't end up selling out last year, and I could have got it for like a serious markdown price. But I don't know. I'm on the fence. It's gonna be over 200 bucks. It ain't cheap. It ain't gonna be cheap. So I don't know. Maybe I'll hold out. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll hold out long enough to see the spoiler alerts and watch other people do unboxes, and then decide if it's like, oh, I better get in on this. Let's go in with a little bit of the Juicy Tube. This is just more like a very neutral, clear gloss. Really, really like it. Now I'm just putting it over that Charlotte Tilbury sort of, love this to carve out like a nude liner and fill, just to give it a little bit of a gloss. And yeah, almost done here. I'm gonna go in and maybe do some setting, do some little setting powder going in with my little Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless, and this nice brush that's just gonna like, I'm just gonna pat all around. And I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna finish the rest of my face offline. I'm gonna put a little pop of something on my cheek. I think I'm gonna use this, my little Essence Dual Palette. I'm gonna put that on my lids. I'm gonna put that over up and around here, like warm up my face a little bit, and then I'm gonna get out the door. wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're well. Thank you so, so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. I look forward to catching up more in my next video, posting a little bit more, especially when I get all my stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Take care.